Let me ask you a question this morning. I'm going to ask that question from two different perspectives. Yeah. First, one of our viewers, and I'm going to read out his name. Well, here we go. Fine. This is Jane from Kisii. Texted me yesterday and said, well, I have never known how to start looking for a career and where to look for it. Continues, I feel like I'm so good at so many things. I've got so many abilities and interests. Now I don't know what to do. So the question comes in. So when you self-examine yourself and then you realize that you've got so many abilities and interests, how do you break from that to the point where you are then saying, this is where I'm going to carve out my career? First question. Let's go with the second question as well that we have for you this morning. What is the difference between a job that you're really good at and a career? Which is an extension of this question that goes into, now, what are those misconceptions and myths about jobs and careers that you have to know? Welcome back. My name is Simba Elijah Charles Kiage. Here's the thing. Today, it's a learning session. So if you don't have a pen and paper, then you're going to miss out a lot. Because this particular session that we're going to get into, if you look for it in any other way, you would pay for it. Heavily, by the way. Yeah, it's a session. And might not be one session, might be 2, 4, 10 sessions before you fully then come out and understand what it is that we're talking about. Today, we teach you how to support your career. And joining us this morning, then, we do have Dr. Ekran Dungu. How are you doing?
Very well, thank you.
Let me start like this. Every time I have these conversations, it becomes a self-reflection for myself as well. Because some of these things, we were never exposed to them, even as we were growing up. And
True.
Also having careers around these particular areas. Let me start like this then. For any other person who's not known you, Dr. Ekra, I want you to officially introduce yourself.
Okay, Ekra Dungu is my name. I happen to be the leader, German Institute of Professional Studies, TVET institution training German and helping students make their way to Germany after their classes. I also serve as the chairperson for Kenya National Association of Private Colleges, that is the association of the private TVETs in Kenya, and we have about 800 TVETs in the country. I have participated in the drafting of the TVET strategy in Kenya and making TVET relevant in the country. And I also serve as chairperson for welfare of Christian CEOs. And more to that, I am a youth mentor and a career coach.
Fantastic.
And thank you for having me.
Proper introduction, isn't it?
Yes.
Now that is out of the way. Let's begin like this then, Dr. Akron. Why is it important for somebody to start thinking about supporting their career? And when is it important? Those two questions.
Thank God for CBC, because our young students will be able to support their careers in good time.
Yes.
Because for us who did 844 system, our career pathway has been guesswork.
like there is a guesswork.
It has been guesswork. I think you can. I just look at Simba and say, Simba, the way you're looking, you look like you can become a good waiter.
That's it.
The way you're looking, you sound like you can become a good soldier. The way you're looking, you look like a good lawyer.
The way you're running.
The way you're running, you look like Kipchoge. Basically, if you remember, that was our career sessions. Actually, in high school.
That's what it was.
It was like that.
That's what it
was. And our career sessions were conventional careers.
Yes.
Nurse, teacher, doctor, engineer, caterer,
That's it.
tailor.
Pilot.
No, pilot was prestigious.
Yeah, it was prestigious.
It was not for the rich. If you went to a primary school that was a polling station,
Yeah,
I don't think becoming a pilot was anywhere in your list.
Like you say, you went to school, there was a police station.
How would you even think of becoming a pilot?
That's it. The only time you've seen a plane is once in a while.
Yes, and you actually left classes to go and watch the plane passing.
That's it. That's true, though.
Yes,
yeah,
it's
you
true.
went out. Yeah.
And when there was a funeral of a prominent person in the village, there was no school that day, everybody to attend. So basically, there was no way that you'd even think that way. But thank God that as years go by, people are exposed. And this generation is a lucky generation because it is coming a time whereby there is a lot of sessions and a lot of free information that you can be able to nurture yourself with the loads of information that is out here. So your question was how to spot your career.
Yes, and when to
spot that. When you are basically your primary school and high school, somebody starts showing their interest and what they are interested in. You can easily see I don't have a lot of strength in sciences, so humanities would do good for me. I have a strength in sciences. I have an interest in sport, so it's something that I can pursue. And when you're able to identify even your personality, because careers also come with personality, because now the way you're laughing, the way you're excited, the way you're speaking out, I think a company would be disadvantaged to have you as an accountant because you will easily speak out and say that we don't have money.
We don't have money, guys. Oh, this
you
month,
can't be paid.
Your salaries are not going to come.
You get. So the personality also comes in with the career.
Yeah.
If somebody is an introvert, there is a career that matches very well with them. If somebody is extroverted, if somebody is a sanguine.
Yes.
If someone is an introvert, I don't think they would make a very good marketer. No. They would really struggle because number one, they struggle with people. They struggle sharing with people, and that's natural. That's who you are. It is good for somebody to go through the stage of self-awareness. Self-awareness is key for you to know who you are and to know the why God dropped you on this earth. Because this generation after the millennials is a purpose-driven generation, and people who love to do what they love to do most, and they give it their all. So you need to be in that space whereby what you're doing is what you love doing most. And if you are confused about it, you can even do a scientific test. We have that, and I do that. There is a scientific test that we can sit, we do a questionnaire, and it has got 98% confidence interval that whatever you will get is exactly who you are and what you can be able to do. And also, today, choosing a career, somebody also has to be very cautious and very futuristic.
Yes.
Those are two things. You have to be very futuristic because most of the careers in the year 2030, 40, 50 will be obsolete because of AI.
Yes, sir.
So where the world is headed. So as you look for a career, you also have to think, am I able to live with this for the rest of my life? Like yesterday, I came across a video that was very interesting. McDonald's, that is now fully automated, a fully automated restaurant. Everything is AI. So what does that tell us for somebody who is thinking that I want to become a waiter in future?
It's not going to be there.
It's not going to be there.
Yeah.
But what is going to be there? They will need more cybersecurity, they will need more ICT guys, they will need more robotic engineers. We will need more people in energy because for these robots to be in operation, then that means we need sustainable energy and renewable energy. Mm-hmm. We need more people in security because that does not mean because they are machines, there are no people who will shoplift. So that means professional security in the future will become a very great career looking at the way the world is moving.
Yes.
Then we have artificial intelligence ethicists That's also something else that looks in the future. So for this young generation, or for somebody who is watching me now, before they pick a career, they need to ask themselves, 10 years later, will I be able to do this? Number two, why am I doing this? Am I doing this career because of the money? Number one, I know most interesting thing, I've been privileged to coach a lot of young people across Africa and across this nation, and majority of them are living in other countries, especially in Germany. And one of the things that students ask you, or the young people, they ask you,
yes.
I want the most paying career. Money comes first. But it is unfortunate that number one issue of mental health is the careers that we are in. Because you might get yourself in a career whereby it is well paying, yes, but it is very stressful.
Yes.
You don't even love what you do every day. I can see the way you're enjoying interviewing me, because this is something that you're loving to do and you're passionate about it. So another key factor in choosing a career is passion. Somebody really needs to be passionate about what they are doing. And also, remember, passion cannot pay bills. It also has to be something that is giving return on the investment on it.
Yes.
Then how will this person who is choosing a career will be able to pick it up? I really encourage parents to introduce their young students to role models or to models. Somebody they can aspire to become like, somebody they choose to be like. That person will help them keep on going and moving. I was privileged to identify one Professor Eda Gashuke when I was a young girl.
Yes.
And I kept on following her footsteps. What is she doing? What is she doing? She was an educationist in this country, and I desired to become like that. Mm-hmm. So it is good for the young person who is watching this to identify, this is what I want to be. Who is the most successful? If I want to become a lawyer, what kind of a lawyer do I want to become? If I want to become the president of this nation, if I want to become a doctor, if I want to become a neurosurgeon. And also to understand that you can be a success without becoming a professor, without becoming a doctor, because there are so many other middle-level careers. And we have even careers in TVET.
Yes.
It doesn't necessarily need to, that you have to have been an A student for you to pick a career that you'll be happy about. A few years ago, we had a challenge of plumbers in this country. Become the most successful plumber that there can be. Become the most successful electrician that we can get. Become the most successful mason that we can get. Become the most successful painter that you can be. Become the most successful marketer. Whatever area that you pick, whether you pick even into entrepreneurship. And it is good, because we have a craze of entrepreneurship, it's good also to understand that not everybody can become an entrepreneur. You need to have the attributes. And when we do a career test, we are able to tell you from the career test. And this is why you have seen there are some people who thrive where there are systems. A good example is the late Bob Collymore. He was a great entrepreneur with Safaricom. Yes. But he was not an actual entrepreneur doing business. So it is good that for the young people to understand that you can still become an entrepreneur, but where there are systems, because that is how you're wired and that is your personality. And that is how you are easily driven. Because for you to be a good person at your place of work, you need to have the inner drive, the intrinsic motivation. And if you do a career that you love most, you didn't know alarm to wake you up, because you're excited to wake up to go and do and achieve your purpose and what you really wish.
Yeah. Pretty much. Here's the thing. For the sake of this conversation this morning, I'm going to just stick to this particular script that we have here, and I'm going to start then biting deep into what you've introduced. Now, Dr. Akra, here's what they're saying, that you need to identify the right motivations, all right, in career tracking under the following. Under that, we're talking about salary and benefits, autonomy, work-life balance, and flexibility. There's also career growth. I like the way you said it. Like, you've met gentlemen who are like, well, I want the best paying career as the one that I'm going for. Are there things that are more important than the other in this list of career growth, benefits, salary, autonomy, and work-life balance?
This generation, we call it a generation of work-life balance.
Yeah.
And today we say that there's nothing like work-life balance. It's work-life integration. How can you integrate your life with the work?
It's work-life integration.
Yes.
There's no balance.
There's no balance. You can't be able to balance life and work, but you can integrate your work and your life.
Yes.
You can be able to plan your day in a way that your family life is well integrated, your children are well integrated in what you're doing. That gives you the comfort and the peace of mind. We've also talked about this. I mentioned when I was doing the intro that one of the major factors of mental health issues is careers. People who are in jobs they don't love, they are usually very stressful. And these are the people, sometimes you walk in an office and then you're just asking a simple question and somebody reacts to you like is a soldier who has been sent to Haiti. Because the person perhaps was supposed to be in the military.
That's true though. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Sometimes you get to a hospital and you find a doctor, he's not even listening to you, he's in his headphones, enjoying his music.
Listen, I've met some of them. That's true. Whatever you're saying is true.
Yes, because somebody would have made perhaps a very good musician. That's what they love. Yeah. Maybe they are a creative. Yeah. But now, because another big challenge we have is that our parents want to live their dream through their children.
I said that now.
If I never became a lawyer, I want my child to become a lawyer. If I never became a doctor, I'm pushing my child to become the same, including forcing them to repeat classes to make sure they get to that. I want you to be a lawyer. And also the adult peer pressure. Parents want to meet people and say, this is so-and-so doing architecture, this is so-and-so doing medicine, this is so-and-so doing law. And a majority of them, sometimes they graduate and they take the degrees to their parents. Spotting a career is very important. And there is a story that one of my mentees has allowed for me to share it. He was forced into taking architecture by the parents because they wanted an architecture
in the family.
In the family.
We have an architect.
Yeah, we have an architect.
Our family is big, guys.
Our family is big. 4 years. He moved to 4 universities. He frustrated the parents because he's doing a course that he doesn't like at all, and nobody is listening to them. So what do? They act out. The young people act out. It's good that even parents follow through, even when kids get into drugs and they get into errant behavior. Sometimes they are acting out. They are doing something that they don't like in the university. Because something you like, you can't waste a moment on it because you know your life depends on it. 4 years, 23, has not graduated on anything. Has not done anything, just certificate. No even certificate to show, just attending, no transcript, no nothing. So by that time they came to me. And when I had a conversation with him, I told the parents, after this is a businessman. He needs to be doing a business course. And we enrolled him for BCom. First 6 months, he was the student leader in the university.
You know, right within it, isn't it?
Yes.
He's happy now.
Within no time, he had innovated a product. He was looking for people to fund his product because he was doing what he loves most.
Like it motivates you to even now start discovering yourself even further.
Yes.
What can I do? I've got leadership qualities now because I'm
right
where I belong, isn't it?
Yes, because you're doing what you love most and you're doing what you're supposed to be doing. So it is ease. You move with ease. And this is something that really parents really need to sit with their kids and listen to them. And also reason with them. That does not mean that parents cannot offer direction. The young people also need to reason to the direction of their parents. But at the same time, they need to come into an agreement. And if the agreement doesn't come, sit down with a career coach, do a scientific test. I'm not the only career coach. There are so many out there. Do a scientific test. Get the results. You'll get at least 5 top careers that you can do out of 142. And that's an assurance that whatever you're going into, you love it for the rest of your life. And you enjoy doing it.
Pretty much.
Yes.
Good. All right. Let's move into the next part then. And I know we're going to look at some of the myths and misconceptions that people have about careers. We're going to talk about them in the second part. I want to take a minute then and talk about some of the ways in which somebody can explore where to get into when it comes to identifying an industry or a sector that can, because it starts from there. Because if you want to identify yourself, you go like, I'm going to start from this industry or in this sector. How do you get there?
In this country, we are not avid readers. People need to get to the Kenya Bureau of Statistics. You'll be able to see the number of jobs that have been available the past 3 years. And also get yourself newspapers every day. Do your research, do your homework. Get to see what jobs are being advertised regularly.
Yes.
Get to career pages of major corporations. See what they are looking for most of the time. If you open the newspaper right now, you will see they are looking for ICT security. They are looking for what? Almost all organizations are looking for that. Remember, even the SME is going digital. So that means there is an influx of careers in that area. Because even now individuals want to be online. Everybody is becoming a content creator. So that means they will need Facebook marketers, they'll need online assistants, they will need ICT, their laptops will need maintenance. That means IT technicians. About 20 million of us own phones. That means we need a mobile phone technician. I don't have to throw away my phone every time it is faulty. So these, somebody needs to check on the trades.
Yes.
What is the trade with the World Economic Forum? What is the trade with the African Forum? What are they saying? What is the trade? Check out what the ministry is telling us. Check out what is being advertised recently as jobs that are available. Look at the global trends. Right now, the demand for nursing globally is so huge. We can't meet that demand. But somebody is there still struggling to take shorthand and secretarial. Who needs that when I can still type everything on my phone and translate it into a Word document?
Some phones are listening to you. They're doing it by yourself. The only thing you need to do is just correct it.
Just correct it. Just use your words. But somebody is enrolling. I really wanted to become a secretary like so-and-so. Is still doing that. Well, the world is demanding for nurses and hospitality because the world is really traveling. So that means if the world is really traveling, that means we need more cabin crew. We need more people in air-related studies. We need more hoteliers. We need more nursing assistants. That means if the demand for nursing is high, that means the demand for people who have done medicine is also very, very high. The world today has closed up because of online working. That means in the next few years, we will have a lot of mental health issues because there's no human interaction. So the demand for psychologists will definitely go up.
Come to think of it, isn't it? Guess what? It's a proper introduction then into whatever it is that we're going to talk about next. Because what you're going to meet in majority of the people who are really trying to understand what they're going to get into in terms of the careers, in terms of how to break them into an area, is they're going to meet a lot of myths and misconceptions about careers and work. Guess what? We take a tiny breather right here on the Morning Drift. Once we come back then, Dr. Ekra is going to listen in to some of the myths and misconceptions that we put together yesterday as a production team about what people think and the general advice when you're really trying to look for a career. Once we come back right here on the Morning Drift, online at Lookuptv, across all your social media platforms, I am at Kiage Simba.
Enjoy a getaway this Mashujaa weekend from as low as 14,000 shillings. Pamper yourself and your loved ones with 10% discount on spa facilities, live kids animators and activities, karaoke Friday and live DJ entertainment. For reservations and inquiries, call 0709 070 000.
Are you a business owner in the retail business of fast-moving goods in the market, and your goal is to boost and expand your business? Juhudi Kilimo is now offering you financial support with super fast loans of up to 30,000 processed within 1 to 3 hours. All you need is your original ID, KRA PIN, 6 months M-Pesa statement, proof of permanent business, and 2 guarantors. Visit any of our branches today or call us on 0709 692 000 or send an SMS to 20103 at no charge. Juhudi Kilimo, investing in farmers, transforming lives.
Are you an SME looking for a media partner? Look no more, as Lookuptv got you covered for all your visibility and marketing needs. We at Lookuptv understand your business needs and want to work with you on your marketing journey, giving you solutions that will take you to the next level. Call us today on 0707 572 358 or send an email to sales@lookuptv.co.ke and kickstart this amazing journey. Welcome to Lookuptv, your official SME media partner.
Welcome back to the Morning Drift. Let's chat the last part of our conversation this morning, helping you spot your career. We've gone through why it's important. We've gone through how to get there. The last question that we answered is exactly how to know what sector or industry really needs you today. So yesterday we sat with the production team and then we kept on going back and forth about some of the challenges and what people know about careers. It's a good thing that Dr. Ekra is right here in the morning, because now she's going to sit back, listen to some of the myths and misconceptions and beliefs about careers and jobs, and then get to weigh in on that. Dr. Ekra, now this is the first one. That being good at your job is more important than you think. That in majority of instances, just get a job, whether you like it or not, become really good at it. That's what really matters in this life.
It's a good 50-50.
Okay.
Because number one, it matters, be good in what you do, but be good at what you love doing. That's what I would say. You can be so good in towards the wrong direction.
Okay.
So if you're good to the wrong direction, that will not lead to your contentment and to your happiness in your career. So, but when you pick what you love most, give it your best shot. What you're passionate about, work on it. Like now, you really wanted to be an anchor. Give it your best shot. Do it like you're the best that there can be in this country and in Africa, because that is what you love doing. So it is good to put effort, but to put effort in the right direction.
That's it.
Yeah.
Pretty much. Second one. Now this gotta be careful about it. You know what they say, eh? They say introspection, going with your gut, and career tests do not work. That's what they're saying. Like, you mimi, there's a common and also I want to also speak about like doing tests, essentially, that all these things do not work, that in one way or another there's something that is best of fit for you. Could you first talk about introspection and going with your gut?
Introspection and going with your gut is just the way you feel, which is good to have self-introspection moments, but you need to have those moments when you're relieving yourself.
Yes.
But it's not when you're making serious decisions, because a career choice is a serious life turn, and it's a serious life turning point that should be taken seriously. This is why you see some students, you feel like you want to become a pilot in class 1. You feel like you want to become a doctor in class 4. You feel like you want to become a lawyer in class 5. You feel like you just want to become anything by form 3. When you're done with school, you start asking your friends, what course are you taking? You start moving with the crowd.
That's it.
So it is a wrong assumption on picking a career, because it's a lifetime decision. Remember this career, even during your eulogy, we will be talking of so-and-so who was. And your career should also be impactful. It should not only be about you, it should also impact others. So these tests, they are not meaningless. And this is why you find the world that is developed, because these are things they integrate in their curriculums.
Yes.
You'll find people who really love what they love doing. If I had an interest in community development, I go to Africa and start the same, do the same, keep doing it, and so whether I'm making money or not. But eventually, if you give your best shot to what is meaningful, it will eventually even give you greater success. So it is a misconception
Yes.
that you should just listen to your guts, because I really wanted to become a lawyer at some point. I wanted to become a journalist at another point. But I found myself in education and I love it.
Yes.
And love it so much. So sometimes the feeling might be influenced by what you see. There are people who see people wearing nursing uniforms when they are kids. The days when nurses would put that kakofia here during our days. I don't know why these days they don't. That kakofia, that
really
white,
the white,
wherever.
Yeah.
So there's
white shoes as well.
Yes, and white shoes.
Yeah.
So and white gloves all the time. And there is a friend who loved that outfit and felt like I can become a nurse, until she went for nursing and could not stand vomit during practice.
Yeah.
You see, the feeling was exciting.
Yeah.
They were just excited about the career.
Yeah.
But in reality, it is not practical.
That's it.
Because number one, you're not even caring. Number two, you're not even soft-spoken. These are the nurses who will beat people because you're supposed to be a policewoman.
Yeah.
That is where the kind of energy would work, maybe being in the military or in the police.
Yes.
But there you are in the wards beating people and all that. Somebody is almost dying, and then somebody comes with medicine and talks the way they are so heartless because they don't have a caring heart. Because some careers also go with personality.
Yes.
It's not about feeling.
Yes.
It's not just about the way I feel.
No, the way I feel.
Yes.
Naona ni kama.
And that is how we made choices of our careers during our time. Our career teachers would say, wewe naona.
Mtoto anakuwa mwalimu mzuri sana.
And then the next day the teacher is in committee, alichapa mtoto. Akavuja miguu. Because that energy was supposed to be in the military.
That's it. Isn't it? Pretty much. I want you to talk about the last one here, and that career tests don't work. There people believe that if you take a career test, it's essentially not going to work. And this is what we learned about it. Just if I would explain a bit further, they say that a career test just makes things clear for you, but it cannot really point you somewhere. What do you say about this?
That's an assumption, because when you sit, just like when we sit for exams,
Yes.
When we sit for exams, it makes it clear whether we qualify for the course that we want to go for or we don't.
Oh, no.
That's essentially why even there is a cutoff for you to join a particular career. If you want to join TVET, you need to have at least a D, and then you need a D+. If it's a certificate, you need a C-. If it's a diploma program, you need a C+. If it's a degree program. Basically, the exam itself is to sieve for you. The same with the career test. The career test is supposed to sieve for you out of about 200 careers, which ones are best suited for you. And it is, I told you when we were starting that it gives you 98% confidence interval.
Yes.
That the accuracy is 98%, so that's almost 100. So, and I've not seen anyone that we have sat down and did that career test, and year 2, they are disappointed with their careers. Even during their graduation, their first thing, I'm so excited about what I am doing. They are so excited with their course. They are so passionate. And because it's something that they love, they really thrive in it, even when they have to do the same career outside the country.
That's
yeah.
Pretty much. Good. Let's go out into the next one. They said that figure out your key uncertainties first as you look for options. That what should be driving you is your uncertainties. I don't know about this. I don't know about that. I don't know about that. That should essentially help you pick your options. Do you believe so?
So I believe we need to raise our young people by training them on mental clarity.
Yes.
Not passing on the baton of confusion to them.
Yes.
I think in this age and era, we should be telling our young people, sit and have some mental clarity on issues before even you start off. Don't start at the point of confusion. Yeah. That is why they are experts. That's why they are career coaches. That is why you are growing up at a better age. We grew up with parents who never went to school, and we made it. I don't understand why today, when people are having parents who are a little bit exposed, they should start off at confusion level. No, for me, I would not advocate for that. Let us teach our young people mental clarity.
That's it.
Yeah.
Pretty much. All right. There's another one here that says, make a big list of options. Make it as big as possible. From that, start going in on it.
You cannot be everything. No. You cannot be everything.
Yeah.
So Simba, don't tell me that we sit here and we create a list of 20 careers that we want to do. No. You need to have, and this is why it is important that kids are exposed as young as in primary school. Mm-hmm. They are exposed if they have a desire of becoming a doctor. And this is something by the grace of God I was able to do, because it's something I'm passionate about. Yes. I was able to do within even my family, my nieces. Identify what do you love most. You could pick, this one loves cooking. Every Christmas is the one who's doing the cooking for us and the what. So you can make a good chef. Mm-hmm. And they are excited about it. Oh, this one just loves soft life. So you can make a good pilot, the way you are excited even about the toys and everything. This one is very nurturing, very caring and all that, and she's graduating in December with medicine, and she's loving everything about that course. By now we've chatted away and we can see that the direction of my son is IT. That's what he loves doing every single day. So at a very young age as a parent, start watching the habits of your child, even the kind of toys they love interacting with, the kind of things that are exciting them online when they get on YouTube. What is this that is exciting them most? That tells you that they have an interest and a passion towards that, and you can start nurturing that. Monitor their performance in school and see this, like you will find somebody maybe wants even to do law, but then in high school, they didn't even bother to perform properly in their languages, which is a prerequisite, or even a history. They dropped sciences. Somebody would have wanted to become a nurse, but they didn't do biology in high school. So they don't qualify for the same. So career choice, it's something that should not start as if it's an emergency. You know, Kenyans, we love last minute quick fixes. Yeah. You've your child for 18 years. You've not even monitored what they love doing and what they can do and what they can't do and what personalities they are. Even sometimes, because parents do not understand their personalities, they end up fighting so much with the children. Because somebody wants to lock themselves in the bedroom, they don't want to talk. But you do not understand that this is an introvert. They are not being arrogant. It's their personality. Another one cannot keep quiet. So every minute you have to slap them to keep quiet. That's a sanguine, is a real extrovert. It's a real politician in the making. They have to keep on speaking out. So it is good that parents, when their parenting style become intentional. Intentional parenting is very critical in this digital information age, and an age whereby there is a lot of information bias. Yeah. If you listen even to the questions that we have been asking here, they have all been a bias, that there is this, there is this, there is this. So as a parent, and we are not even having as many children as our parents used to have.
That's true.
What is it that they did that they raised a very successful generation, that this generation is only having 2 or 3 kids is unable to do. That means there's a point that we are failing as parents.
Does it? Let's move on to the next one. And they're saying that you have to do tests. And this is what they're saying, that the only thing you have to make sure is do cheap tests first before you graduate in the more expensive ones, as you chart your way in trying to track your career.
No, cheap is expensive. We can't even debate that. And even which one is this cheap
That
test?
is cheap.
I would really love to know which one is that cheap one.
Yeah.
Maybe that cheap one ile ya kuambiwa na mwalimu wewe unakaa nasi.
Yeah.
Maybe that is the one that you mean.
That's the cheap one.
That's the cheap one. And it's an expensive route.
That's it.
Because can you imagine, you can't stand blood. Do you know there are people who cannot stand watching blood?
Yeah, I know.
There are people who cannot stand a dead body.
Yeah, I know.
And then you are there telling people that there is a global demand for nursing and pushing the same person into that career.
Yeah, yeah.
That's real trauma. The person will be forever traumatized. Or telling somebody there is a demand for morticians.
I know of a story. My cousin told me that story. One of these fine days, like they had friends they were friends from all the way from high school, passed greatly from Pangani girls, got A minuses, and they went into medicine directly. So introduction courses was good. They were doing surgery until that point when they had to go into the lab now officially for those courses, yeah, and there was a live sample of a human body that was supposed to go through where the girl fainted.
Yes.
And she had to drop that course immediately.
After wasting 3 years.
That's it.
That's why I'm saying cheap is expensive. It is not 1, not 2, not
Yes.
3. You'll find parents saying, I've wasted fees for 3 years. Just when I'm waiting for somebody to graduate. And these are the same people who become very errant even at the place of work because they are doing something that they don't love. Yeah. So they have to be pushed, they have to be supervised, over-supervised. One person is followed by 3 people because what they are doing is not something that they like at all. They're just doing it for income. They're just doing it to survive,
yes,
which is very wrong and very traumatic and very stressful. Yeah.
All right, I want us to move into the next one. Now, I don't know what your sentiment on this is going to be. They're saying here, try something and iterate, in the sense of ukitaka kuwa daktari, hebu jaribu uone vile una feel, ukisikia it's not working for you.
That is the same thing that Simba we've talked about doing trial and error. In this age, in this digital age, let us not encourage our young people to do trial and error in their careers.
Yes.
Life is not a rehearsal.
Yeah.
And I don't think they should rehearse with their careers. It should be taken seriously.
Does it?
Yes. So you'd rather take your 6 months, 1 year, trying to think through. Take time to think, strategic thinking. How do I see myself in the next 5 years? Will I love doing this? If it is becoming an electrician, if it's becoming a mechanic. All careers are important. Doesn't necessarily they have to be the perceived conventional careers. And this is why now we even have TVET to give people options. Whatever grade that you have, you are a success. Whether it's an E, whether it's a D, whether it's a D+, whether it's a C-, whether it's a C+, there is a career that is best suit for your qualification. And there's nothing like feeling that I failed. No, you're not a failure. It's only that you are tested on memory. And maybe you're not good at that. You're good at hands and competence. So you can become a very good tailor. And when you think tailoring, think global brands that exist. If you think becoming a mechanic, think high-end, all that, because those options are available for our young people. Whatever career choice, whatever qualifications, whatever grade they have, they got those grades because perhaps they were tested for things that they are not passionate about. But when they pick something that they are passionate about, they will do it with extreme excellence.
Let's move into the second one. The second last, sorry. And I don't know what your sentiments about this are going to be. They'll say, explore more when you're young. And I've got a personal question about this one. Yeah? Dr. Accra, do you find it dangerous for a 22-year-old, a 23-year-old, a 25-year-old, who, when you ask them, what plan do you have for your career? You know, what are you, how do you envision your career? And then they tell you, I don't know, I'm living by the day. Do you find that to be dangerous?
Yes, and this is why we are really advocating for people to start self-awareness early.
Yeah.
Self-awareness is key, because unfortunately you'll even find somebody even at 40 trying to order what they love most. They still don't know what they love most. They just do what is available to survive. And which leads to a very frustrating kind of life, because what you're doing, you don't even love it. You're just doing it day by day,
exactly.
or moving with the crowd. A dangerous trend that is with our young people is impatience and moving with the crowd. And talk of impatience because I met a young person and asked her, why are you unhappy with your career? How did you pick this career? And the person tells me, I went to this institution, people were enrolling. The course I wanted to take, or the course I'm passionate about, there was a very long queue to the registrar's office. So I went to the shortest queue, so that I could.
Because I was tired that day, I just wanted to go home.
They're not even tired. They just want to go back and watch Netflix. I don't think there is any match that a young person will do with their time.
No,
yes, because they really have not mastered the skill of how to maximize their time and how to use their time every single day, that every single minute counts. It is quite unfortunate. And they picked a career and they went on for 4 years, frustrated the parents the 4 years in college. By the time we met and asked her, how did you pick this career? You know, the way you just want to know the history. Yeah. I just went to the shortest queue. I didn't want a queue. And that was how they made the decision of picking that career. It is important that we teach our young people decision making.
Does it?
And they involve somebody. And they be also people who can be advised.
Does it?
Because it's very dangerous. Majority of them, you can never tell them anything.
Yes.
Irrespective of how much experience you have as a person.
Let's move into the last one then. So, which is almost related to what we've spoken here. Consider trying several paths with careful ordering. That you should see yourself as getting into many other areas.
It's a good slogan, but it's a good motivation slogan.
Yes.
And I think that is a motivational slogan from Jack Ma.
Yes.
That when you are young, do as many things as possible. Yep. But then when you start getting in your 30s, start shaping up to one thing. So there are people who can be able to do that. But if you can be able to chart your way in your 20s, why not? Why not run with it for the rest of your life? I believe a straight line is always the shortest distance. Yeah. Then a zigzag.
Does it?
Yes. So if you can be able to chart your life in good time, then that would be amazing.
Yes.
Yeah.
So, Dr. Accra, even as we get to the end of this conversation here this morning, and I know every time you and I speak, I do get a lot of questions that usually follow this conversation. There's some people looking for you, some people say, I want to speak to her about this. And let me just remind you to a conversation that we had last time on essentially why it's important then for you to start thinking about your career. There's a parent who asked me, can I please know when it's the right time, the exact right time for me to start sort of shaping the future for my child? When is the right time?
The right time to start shaping the future of a child is at birth.
Yes.
Because we talked about intentional parenting. What do you want to expose your children to? How do you want to manage that exposure?
Yes.
The days that you have that control. And these days you have control, I think, up to 6 years. After they go to school, they become so exposed because they have so much. There is so much that is available for them in terms of the gadgets. Today, there were days that we could control and say that I'm not going to buy gadgets. Today, their homework is sent in these gadgets.
It's on the gadgets here.
So it's part of learning.
Yeah.
So by that time, as a parent, to shape the thinking of your child, you really have to be present and you really have to be intentional in your parenting. And if God has graced you with affluence, be careful with how you expose them, because you can put them in economic outpatient care for the rest of their lives if you're not careful on how you manage the level of exposure that they are getting.
Yes.
The next thing is sit down and discuss with your child and expose them to role models that they look up to. That I want to become this. Who is the person that can guide me towards this? Who is the person that can guide me towards this? And now we come back to what you were telling me about feeling. Now that becomes spiritual. Now there is a moment of, as a parent, to pray for your child, because you are the number 2 God to your child, so that at least you can get the right direction. Because wisdom is good, ideas are good, but a God idea is better.
That's it.
Yeah.
Pretty much. Then we have 2 minutes to go on this one. And this is one that I picked as well yesterday out of your post that we floated out. And I said, I'm going to ask this as the last question in this conversation. Do you know what they say about Africa and sub-Saharan Africa? They say that those people are really making it big, number one, are people who've grown in top positions in their professional line, that's their career. And number 2, that majority of the 1% population, they have their businesses going on. And so you find people who are saying, my kid has to be trained around how they can own their business. And you ask them why? Because they're in Africa and I want them to make it. Is that a trend?
I mentioned about the trend of entrepreneurship. And there are people even who are leaving jobs and getting frustrated in entrepreneurship. Because when we were starting the conversation, we mentioned that there are people who thrive where there are systems. That these are people we call intrapreneurs. They have the entrepreneurship bit of it,
yes,
but they can't go it on their own.
Yes.
They can thrive well, they can become CEOs of organizations because they have the skill and everything, but where there are systems and where there are other people, not their own job. And we have seen these such people who have led blue chip companies. We have great people like the former CEO for Safaricom. We have Pepsi, Google guy. We have people like Sheryl Sandberg, the lady who grew Facebook to where it is. The lady who also grew Google before moving from Google to Facebook. Yes. But she's not an entrepreneur. She's just somebody who can thrive where there are systems. It's good that we allow our children to be. If you can thrive where there are systems, well and good. If you can thrive in entrepreneurship, well and good, go for it. Yes. But our exposure with the education should be leading to a way that they can be entrepreneurs, even if they will not come in the marketplace and practice entrepreneurship. They can still practice it within the organizations. These are the business developers in organizations. They are innovative. They come up with new ideas every now and then. So, and this part of Africa, we
yes,
are so rich by having a youthful population. We have a youthful population. We have labor, what the world does not have. So the future, the way we've been talking of a global village, it's today a reality, because the opportunities available for Africans in other developing nations are massive. Today they are accepting professionals. By the recent statistics, we had 15,000 expats, Kenyans, living abroad. We've talked of expats, not workers, yes, expats. Yes. So you know expats, it's somebody who is poached, handpicked because of their skill. 15,000 of them spread across the world are Kenyans. So that tells us that we are competing with India as a nation, because India has been exporting a lot of CEOs. If you look at the CEO for Twitter, CEO for Google, CEO for these multinationals, Pepsi, they have all been Indians. So it's a golden opportunity for our Kenyans also, and for our young people to think global even when they are picking their career.
Yes.
Not to think their polling station primary school. Where can they work? And not to assume that there are no jobs.
Yes.
Because the world like this is on your hands. So you can work anywhere in the world. And you've seen the demand that has been sent to Kenya for workers abroad. It's huge.
It's huge.
So the opportunities are there. Let us pick proper careers, the right careers, and check the global trends and the future of work, because you'll pick a career and you start complaining that there are no jobs.
Yes.
Because you're picking a career for things that do not exist. If you did a course in nuclear bombing in this country, where will you get employment from?
Guys, listen, gonna leave it there for the day. Guess what? And I know those many questions are gonna start coming in. You do know what to do. Talk to us at Lookuptv across all your social media platforms. And once we do have those suggestions and comments, you don't want to speak to her directly like we always do, we're gonna talk to her so that you get a direct link so you can seek those professional services in terms of pointing you out towards the direction of your career as an individual. Bigger takeaway? Think more than your primary school. That's it. Dr. Ekra, always a pleasure to speak to you. All right. It's a good time then to end it today. Tomorrow is a good day for us to begin this